few years, in particular reflecting excessive money supply growth and money expansion in the economy, which impacted on the exchange rate, causing currency instability as well as inflation. So accordingly, the tight monetary policy that the governor has highlighted is particularly necessary and important to collapse the inflation expectations in the economy, which is a prerequisite for low and stable inflation. As he has pointed out, we experienced over the last quarter, particularly the last quarter of last year, an inflationary surge, with inflation increasing from 5.8% in September to 37.2% in October, and thereafter decelerating in November and December following the monetary policy measures that were implemented on the 27th of September. Price stability is a key and core integral part of the macroeconomic framework. The assumptions underpinning our growth prospects for this year, as members may be aware, our target is for 6% growth, 5 to 6% growth year end, and the assumptions underpinning those projections took into account the fact that we would be having a tight monetary policy environment to anger inflation expectations, which were de-angered for a long period of time. So further to that, we do think that the TFF, which monetary authorities have introduced and now extended to the retail sector also, will ameliorate or will go a long way towards ameliorating liquidity challenges in the economy, assisting also in working capital requirements of many corporate entities. The second question, Honorable Chair, which you gave to us, was in respect of the management of treasury bills and the implications on economic growth. To highlight that, Treasury issues treasury bills, the ministry issues treasury bills on an ongoing basis as guided by the government's borrowing plan, which is published in the budget. In this year's budget, which was announced by the Honorable Minister end of November, there is a borrowing plan, hence the need to issue treasury bills. This is also critical so that we can bridge the revenue and expenditure gaps of the ministry without necessarily having recourse to the central bank to monetize the budget deficits. Again, I might allude to the fact that over the past 2 decades, one of the key challenges that we have been facing in the economy has been the recurring monetization of the budget deficit, and with that also high inflation, currency instability that we have witnessed. So we do treasure very much, and we are hopeful the stability we currently experience will continue as necessary to allow investment in the economy as well as broadening economic activity. So basically, honorable members, we issue treasury bills for 3 main purposes. Firstly, the budget financing, as I have highlighted. We also cover legacy debts. Members may be aware that Treasury took over some legacy debts from the central bank as part of the overall macroeconomic framework that's required to enter current stability and to achieve exchange rate stability. The third component is the recapitalization of state enterprises.
So if you can put the mic close to you.
Thank you, sir. So as I have pointed out, there are from month to month, week to week, month to month, revenue and expenditure gaps in government, for which the treasury bills are then become an important instrument for the financing of government projects, development projects, as well as ancillary services to bridge short-term financing gaps in the economy. We also know that our revenue will grow progressively during the year. Initially, in January and February, our revenue flows are typically slow, reflecting also the nature of economic activity in the country. But as we progress into the third month, the fourth month, second half of the year, and so forth, our revenue inflows generally tend to improve. So we are hopeful that this management process of the treasury bills will continue to be closely monitored. Members may be aware that sometimes there have been a few occasions where Treasury, the ministry, has had significant obligation payments or to meet obligations as they mature in terms of Treasury bill maturities. And what we are doing as a ministry currently is to engage all creditors and bondholders to undertake a comprehensive restructuring plan, which is currently ongoing, so that we're giving priority to the rescheduling of some of our debt obligations. So, Chair, what we are doing as government is that month by month we make some payments as they fall due. Most of them we actually engaged with our key stakeholders and bondholders to restructure and reorganize the repayments. We are also very much alert to how this will impact on the overall economy. On the issue of the retail sector and the interest rate policy, Chair, I think the governor has comprehensively covered those. Perhaps with your permission, I can submit to the committee and wait for any comments that may arise. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Mushayavanhu, what is really fueling the parallel market exchange rate? A gap of 26 versus 40. It's a conducive gap for arbitrage in the current market. So what could be influencing this, Dr. Mushayavanhu? You also talked about the retailers, that now they are now covered under the targeted finance. You had not included specifically in the first place, you included them. But what are the specific challenges that the retailers informed you, and how does this TFF actually solve those challenges or those problems? That is very critical for us to know. You also talked about the interbank challenges, interbank lending, that some banks are refusing. What sort of policy measures or some corrective measures have you put in place to ensure that banks naturally trade between themselves without having to resort to the action by your RBZ to actually force them to do that kind of lending? You talked also about the tight monetary policy, which we appreciate. In the past, we used to have monetization of the economy all the time, and this would result in our currency losing value. Now, with this tight monetary policy, we appreciate. But then the bond market association is saying the tight liquidity situation is making it very difficult for the secondary market of bonds to thrive, because no one is buying those securities, those fixed income securities on the secondary market. What are the possible solutions that you can give us? Right. So that is for the question that arose from the discussions or the presentations that yourselves a statement. You indicated that banks and payment system providers are directed with immediate effect to ensure that every business account, new or existing, is issued with a point of sale machine or any other approved digital mechanism which can facilitate transactions in both ZIG and USD. with a view to enhance digital transactions in the economy. How will you ensure and enforce compliance to the use of these POS-based transactions by SMEs, small and medium scale enterprises? How are you going to ensure that you enforce compliance in this sector?
Chair, my question to the governor is in line with the point you indicated that it is now mandatory that local authorities should actually issue licenses to only traders with point of sale machines, right? That is a good move. But my worry is on the side of the local authorities and the officers actually issuing those licenses. In case a local authority issues a trading license to a trader without such a point of sale machine, do you have any tool or any penalty to the local authority or the issuing officer? And if you give that penalty, is it directed to the local authority using the Jangwan rule, or it's directly to the person, the actual issuing officer? Thank you.
In relation to what Honorable Kumberi is asked, what measures is the reserve being put in place to ensure businesses in remote areas where internet and electricity are reliable can effectively use point of sale systems and access digital payment facilities? What long-term plans are there to promote financial inclusion in these areas? Thank you.
Fueling the parallel market exchange rate. You are saying that willing buyer, willing seller is at 26 and parallel market is at 40. First of all, sorry, sir, I have to disagree with you there, because the parallel market rate has gone significantly down. It used to be 40 quite a while back, but from what we are seeing, because we have FIU on the ground, we also sniff around. We are hearing of rates not exceeding 32 as of now, which means the premium is narrowed. But what is fueling that? The willing seller, willing buyer market has got enough foreign currency to meet forex demands from all legitimate acquirers of foreign currency. If you have an invoice to pay for something outside the country and you go to your bank, you should be able to have that invoice satisfied on the willing seller, willing buyer market without any problem. We have made sure that that happens. I did mention earlier on that when we go into the market, not all the forex that we are offering is actually being taken up, because we have more than satisfied the demand. Further to that, under the willing buyer, willing seller arrangement, banks are allowed to buy foreign currency from whoever wishes to sell that foreign currency at whatever rate that person wishes to sell. And they are allowed to sell that to anyone who wants to buy, again, at whatever rate that that person wants to buy. So the legitimate market, the market for legitimate transactions is satisfied. So what causes the parallel market? We now move to the illegitimate market. If someone just wants foreign currency for what we call store value purposes, they just want to change all their zinc into US dollars. They cannot do that in a bank, because that is not a legitimate transaction. And this is what then fuels the parallel market. Because that, in our opinion, is an illegitimate transaction. It's illegal. And that is what is causing that activity on the parallel market. It's difficult for us as authorities to say what are we going to do about it, except to say we have FIU on the market, If they catch anyone doing that, the fines are hefty and we are able to penalize them. But I think our main responsibility as monetary authorities is to make sure that the legitimate, bona fide foreign exchange market is liquid and it clears. And that we are able to do from the 30% surrender that we are getting from the market. Turning to...
While it's on that, Governor, say for instance you are in South Africa,